great information all about Kamiak Butte as we get into term reports number 3 and 4, and really developing them in a great solid way. One of those is with us today, and Declan West is going to be running his computer on our shared screen, and I'm going to coach him through it as he shares what he sees. But he's going to combine his term report sections into one core document. Okay, so a number of things I'm going to ask Declan to do as we tap through this is one of the very first, I'd like to go to the home ribbon and turn on the paragraph returns. You got that paragraph right in the very center. There you go. The reason I'm doing this is because Declan has used all the document mechanics throughout the entire series. And when we do this combination setup, what I'm going to ask him to do is copy at certain place or from certain places in his documents and paste into certain other places. So what we can do to really start this out is say, this is term report number 1. And go ahead and scroll through that a little bit, Declan, and just give an overview of what you're showing here. We've got the cover page, the title page. You got your table of contents, list of figures. You did acronyms used throughout the entire process. Okay, go ahead and just talk us through very quick, Declan.
Yeah, so I have my table of contents, list of figures. There's some photos that I took there, and then I just made some quick acronyms because it made it easier to type out.
Yeah.
And then I have like all the geology stuff, talking about like the quartzite, flood basalts, glacial flooding, and the loess soil.
Yeah, I'd like you to go up right above your figure number 1, or right to your figure number 1, let's say that. And I want you to put your cursor right on that label area. And I'm going to see it right away that when he clicks on that up in the menu bar, it's going to tell me what style heading level this one is. And pull down your chevron on the right-hand side of that marker. I don't know, I see figure 1 is showing right there. Okay, so that was your style heading 7. Is that right, Declan?
It should be 7, but I actually made it number 9, so it's number 9.
Okay, and that from the videos, the version, yeah, 9 is the fine, but we're going to keep a track of that in our minds because we're going to retap into that idea when you make your list of figures of the combined reports. And as long as he's used heading style 9 for all the figure labels, it's going to work just fine.
Okay, you are. Yeah, probably told me they were main post. Having issues with projector 1. Okay, yeah, that's
Okay, the projector one's being fixed, but we can continue.
Okay. Okay. Now, with this all said, what I'd like you to do is go up to your very top of the line title page, your cover page, I'm sorry, and let's give it a brand new name.
What name?
You choose it. This is your master report, whatever you want to. Yeah, instead of turn, yeah, final, that'd be fine. Good, good. Now do a file save as. We're going to give it a new file location right here. So what I'm going to have him do is use this term report number 1 as his receptor of all the other term report sections that is going to be placed into here. So he's going to give it that new name, save it to his USB drive because we're on this shared computer system of the Spark Service Center. But now this is going to be the final. So that's very good. Let's now just hold this as a placeholder. Oh, there is one last thing I'd like to do. Go up to your references that have been, please, Declan, and show me your manage sources icon. That little button when he pops it up. Now I can see on the two different sides of this. Left-hand side is all the files that have been saved in this operating system, this computer on this file set. Okay, it's a little bit different than when you'll have it at your home computer. But on the right-hand side, this is very important because all those citations that appear there that have a check mark, occasionally you'll have a citation on the right-hand side without a check mark next to it. That means that you added it to the report at some point and then deleted it in the content area, but it still remains in this citation matrix. If there's a check mark, that means it was used as a citation in this report. But you go all the way over to the bottom side of it, and you say anything on the right-hand side is going to be in your works cited summary at the bottom of the report. Okay, so right now everything's good, but we're going to verify that as we keep this rolling along. Okay, so go ahead and close that one off, Declan, and please open up your term report number 2. Okay, now this is going to be very important. This is the climate section, obviously. Go ahead and scroll through it for us, Declan, and just show us any nuances that is different or the same in this one.
There's a difference where there's a table. So I have the figure 1 for that includes all the precipitation and climate data from PRISM. Talks about the rest of it. This is the drought of the Palouse. And then I have a table showing all of the temperature differences that I made between the two.
Okay, put your cursor on that table 1 label right in the text. I want to see it appear up on your menu bar to tell me that this is a heading level for tables. Yep, you got it right there. So this is very significant, and we're going to use this. So what I want you to do right now is to see on the right-hand side that table of contents, your works cited, and know that that is going to be auto-generated by the system. So you do not copy anything right now from that works cited summary. I'd like you to go to the very bottom of where your content area is. It's the paragraph below your table.
Right.
Yeah, at the very end, we're just going to leave the cursor holding it right there. And now scroll all the way up to the beginning of your content that was written after your list of figures, after your acronyms used, right there. Yeah, right to where it says climate. Hold down your shift key and tap on the word climate. And you're going to select all of those data now. So it's that content area. Notice what I've done. I've had him not copy any of the stuff from the table of contents, the list of figures, list of tables, or the acronyms used. We're going to leave those alone, not the cover page, not the title page. Leave them out. So right now, and you can see a number of important things, which all of you have done document mechanics have understood now, is when you selected these areas, all of those little boxes that appeared, they're hypertext. For instance, I see figure 1 is a reference in that first or second full paragraph. I'm not going to tap it just yet, but what he's done is to say, these are the data and the reference visually is that figure 1. So that's a hyperlinked text. That is reference manager settings. But okay, now what I'd like you to do is go ahead and Control C to copy this.
Sure.
Now open up the first or that modified document that you created. Not the first one report, but that final report. Right. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and scroll down in this rascal to the very bottom of that content area. Again, above the literature cited, but below, yeah, above your section break next page. Go to the bottom of that paragraph, strike in an enter right there. Now Control V to paste. And what it just did is it imported all that great content into this report. And now go ahead and scroll up and see right where that insertion point hit. Okay, it's right at climate. It's go open your home ribbon. Yeah, right at the top, we're going to see that that should be a heading 1. Did it highlight for you?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. But now what we're going to do is go down to the bottom of temperature, and you see where it says figure 1. You know that that's not really figure 1 because now this is revised to this new figure 1. Go to that actual figure itself and look at it on the right-hand side, just, yeah, right at the top. So it shows as figure 3. Okay, that was the automatic thing. It was figure 1 in the document we just copied from, and now it landed here as figure 3. That's fine, but now go to your hyper reference in that paragraph before it. And actually, go ahead and triple click on that paragraph right there.
Triple click?
Yeah, right in the content area. Yeah. Okay, now with the control key, or actually you could do it just like this. Right click where it says figure 1, and you do an update field. Yeah, now watch that. Automatically, it just became figure 3. That was the only change you had to do. You do it throughout the entire document, and that will be the effect. Now, you could select all and find any of those references and update field, and it'll do it for you. But let's go ahead and keep this process going because that is the workaround. You just saw it work here. But all throughout this document, you're going to pick out those things. And the second side of that is your acronyms used. If you use the feature within Microsoft Word to create your acronyms, not just typing them out yourself, but literally saying, this is my acronym, how I'm going to put it together, it will update those automatically as well. So that was your climate report. That was number 2. I'd like you to go right now to number 3. Open that term report section. Oh, I'm sorry, Declan, I skipped a step. Go back to that previous report. Save your file. And literally now here's the worry word of Dr. Bill. I will literally change the file name every time I import another section from the previous. You don't need to do it. That's just a worry wart, but I would have that original, then I'd have my A, then B, then C. Just every time I add them in, if there's a crash, I only fall back to that point. But you're probably fine. So yeah, please go over to term report number 3. Okay, so it's the same process here. We're going to go from either the very top or the very bottom, but place your cursor at that entry or exit point in the file. Yeah, right from that very end. Notice that again, he didn't select from the section break next page, left them out. That works cited did not come in. Go ahead and select all the way to the top. Hold down your shift key when you select over there, and it'll get the mesoclimate too. There you go. He's got a copy. Okay, stepping around, noticing our figure 1 and figure 2 stuff. That's fine. Get your final report opened up. Same drill at the very bottom above the section break next page and paste it in. Jump right back to your mesoclimate and verify that your style system headings came across correctly.
Dr. Bill, really quick, we have one question.
Oh, great. I want to hear those questions.
So why did you do the shift key thing, like not to copy it all from just the introduction? You do that again?
Did you hear the question, Dr. Bill?
I think so. The question was saying when he had selected all the way to the top, it left a half of the word unselected. Hold down the shift key at that point to then be able to just click further to the left, and that would select the entire word. And so that shift key just forcing it to keep copy or selecting the area. Did that answer the question? Did I get it right?
Do you want me to do it again?
I'm not sure.
Are you asking like, how do you select everything? So if you have the cursor at the very bottom and then you scroll up to the very top and then hit shift and then wherever mesoclimate was, then that'll highlight everything in that section. So you don't have to hit select all or anything like that.
Yeah, because select all would be a bad thing for you, because then it's going to select a cover page, title page, list of figures, table of content. You don't want those. It's all automatically generated content of the document mechanics system. So you're leaving those tops and the bottoms. Notice we didn't copy literature cited in any of this so far.
I'm gonna help out.
Okay, so Declan, how are we doing? Is it, tell me where we're at. You're at mesoclimate. What do you see for your style heading on it?
It says it's a heading 1 still.
Great. That's exactly what you wanted, right?
Yep.
Let's see. Now you walk us through and go ahead and talk the whole class on your figure 1 reference that you saw on what used to be figure 1 as sheet. It now shows as figure 5.
Yeah,
Where was that referenced in your text?
it was referenced right here. About here.
Yeah. So remember what we did before. You triple clicked in this paragraph, right clicked on the figure 1 and did an update field. Boom. Just right. Now, sometimes it'll happen, folks, that that figure 5, which I'm seeing right now, it's perfect. It did everything it was supposed to do. And sometimes they don't work. You just keep updating it, but it won't take on the figure 5, which it should be. So what you would do in that one instance is to put your cursor on that actual figure 5 label area. And there you're going to change it to a different thing like normal, and then back to figure. And right through that series, it'll re-update itself correctly. But so far, you've done this just fine. There is no trip up around that point itself. So that scroll through the document and just verify, did everything come across the way you expect it to look? Declan?
Yes. Yeah, it has all of my figures. It has all the tables.
Tables are numbered correctly?
Yeah, this did not come across correctly.
Which one's that?
That is disturbance and stability factors. That should be a heading number 3, I believe, which I can just update. Yeah, this should be a heading 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just some that didn't go through correctly, but that's okay.
But you got the right step now. You're just finding those, and occasionally it's going to happen. You put your cursor there, you tell what figure heading level it should be, and that's perfect.
It should be 3. Oh, where'd it go? Yeah, see, that should be 3. Should be a 2. Should be a 3. And it's a 3. Should be- should be 2, and then
Talk out loud for us, Declan. Let everybody see
Sorry.
what you're observing there.
sorry,
You kind of like me, you mumble a little bit, but yeah,
Yeah.
talk out loud.
so I just saw some different sections that should be different headings that are just labeled blue when they should be either heading 2s or heading 3s. And I was just
Yeah.
going through and editing which ones are which.
Yeah, and so that is absolutely the step through I want everybody to do. You have to read your own work, right? But you've already read it. You wrote it, holy cow. But now you know exactly where those style headings should be. So Declan, what you just did was a great step through to say, yep, step by step, I'm going to piece these together right. Now you're going to save your report again, make sure that we don't lose this rascal, and go ahead and open up your term report number 4. Okay, same drill, right? We've got the table of contents, list of figures, acronyms used, but you're going to start at your Douglas fir of Kamiak Butte. So you can before you went from the bottom up, now you can go from the top down, just putting your cursor before Douglas fir. Super good. Go ahead and ratchet your way all the way to the bottom here. Yeah, before the section break, right? I want you to keep your shift key again. In this case, hit the right arrow once, because I want that paragraph return at the right-hand side of your figure that you used on that mistletoe Douglas fir. Yeah, you see how we capture that paragraph return, because it's going to make sure that that figure knows that it is a normal, right? That is the big wraparound everybody tripped on to say, if you created your list of figures and you had the label appear correctly, and then the figure itself in that list as well, it's because this program thought that it was a title heading 9 or heading 7, whatever your figure label was. But right now he's just copied or selected it incorrectly, and you put it into the copy. Okay, go ahead and jump back to your core document. Same drill, empty paragraph return at the bottom, and you paste it in. All right, go back to where you inserted it at the very initiation point. I'm going to make sure that it actually carried that style heading level with it as well. Douglas fir Kamiak Butte, did it make it right, Declan?
Yep, it is a heading 1, which is what I wanted it to be.
Okay, do a quick survey of the rest of those figure heading setups, and we're going to take a very specific walk around after you see all your references showing up. Yeah, figure numbers automatically numbered correctly right there. That figure 13, he never had it in any of the individual reports, but it added them on consecutively to say it's going to just keep taking them on one by one. Now, what I'd like you to do is a nice spin around, though. I want you to scroll down to your works cited. Okay, we see the works cited. This is only what he cited in that very first term report. But instead of doing the update right now, don't do it. I want you to go up to your references ribbon. I want you to then trip around and look at your reference manager, or managed sources. Okay, now on the right-hand side, we looked at this on the very first report. You had about, 8, 9 citations there. But now as you scroll through this, you see a check mark on every single one. Okay, these are all the citations that were made in this report. Now, right there, I want you to just pause for a second on the citations of Schlosser, William E.
Mhm.
Just verify you don't have any duplicates in those. It occasionally will happen that you cited something that went into one of the reports and then you wanted to cite the same thing in a different report section. If you retyped it and there was any difference at all, well, it'll appear different right there. But as you go through that, does it look like each one of those is unique, Declan?
Yeah, all of them are unique.
Okay. So you do not ever have to retype your style, your citations again. This is a huge difference that Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word allows you to instigate here. So if everything looks right on this screen, we can go ahead and close it and then do an update of your literature cited summary. And you look at that bar across the bottom, it is scrolling through the entire report, it's assembling them, and it's putting them into the correct order right there on your works cited or literature cited. It's all in. Everything just perfectly done. This was one of those examples I told you in the video on this works cited applet within Microsoft Word, where I presented this to a class. There was some faculty in the room, and the stop of the whole class to say as they left, another faculty member saying if this had been engaged when he was doing his dissertation for his doctorate, it would have saved him about 17 months of his life. That seriously, that you just did the entire work cited perfectly. It's all APA format. And I know it is because up there under the managed sources on the ribbon, you see that the style is APA. And just convince yourself of this one too, because another professor may want you to cite in a different format. Just Declan, if you would please pull down the APA label right there, and you see all of those that pop up. You roll them out and you name it, and you could have it say Chicago, and it'll take it about maybe 30 seconds to then redo all of these citations in Chicago style format. You can then go back to APA. You just convince yourself this is an incredibly fast and efficient way to do it. But with all that said, Declan, you've got the works cited now perfectly done, because you use that citation manager all throughout this entire series. So now let's do the full fix around, go up to the very top. Because he has his style sheets all engaged, right, you can go up to the table of contents. Okay, so right here, I would just do the same style series to update the top of the field, update the field, and we see all the page numbers. Oh, do the entire table every time you do these. I don't know why they default to the only the numbers. Do the entire thing each time. Yeah, give it a tap. Perfect. Do everybody see that? There is no scrolling of the pages, looking to see what page it appeared on. And right there, he's got a 24-page report from the beginnings of the sections. Now you add on to that the cover page, the title page, you get the III pages that you add on to. He's really looking at nearly a 30-page report all in. This is looking good. Now, for the list of figures, it's going to be quite a bit different because you can't go to the top and say just update field like you did on the table of contents, which is fine. Instead, what you're going to do is right-click on any of those lines, and you can do an update field partway down that drop-down applet. Yeah, now when he does that, same drill, update the entire thing, and it's going to automatically renumber all of those figures in this list and give us fresh page numbers. Bang, he's got it done. Now, I do see something that just popped up though, Declan, and that was your table 1 that appeared in my list of figures, and table 2 as well. Tell everybody why that's happening.
It's because I accidentally put one of the style sheets that includes the tables into this list of figures.
Okay, but the fix around for that is not difficult at all, because he has his table, his figures 1, 2, 3, 4, good, and then we got table 1. Okay, and you know that now should be style heading 8.
Yeah, the figures should be the table should be number 8.
Okay. What I'd like him to do right now is hold down your control key on your keyboard. Go to that one table 1 entry where it says 8, page 8, I think it is. Where it skips the page number. With the control key down, tap that page number 8. That'll take you to that table 1. Okay, he just teleported right into it. That was the other nice part about all of those references that you get in the list of figures, table of contents, list of tables. They do it just like that. So hold down the control key, tap that number, and it'll teleport you right into that page. But now go ahead and put your cursor right on that label line, and don't select anything. Never select. Just put your cursor in, because remember, all these style sheets are telling you about the paragraph. You don't have to select anything. Just put your cursor in that line. But now I'd like you to go to the home ribbon, and right now say what level should that be? And you can see it at the very top there where it says table 1.
Mhm.
Go ahead and click it. And you just changed the style sheet of this particular table. Okay, so it made the change. Go back to your table of contents, to the very top of your report, and update that field again. Not the table of contents, I'm sorry, your list of figures. Yeah. Update this, and let's see table 1 disappear.
It should be. No. What? It's a issue that I accidentally included both in the table of contents.
Oh, in your list of figures, you included both. That's
Yeah.
fine. Let's do a better walk around then. What I'd like you to do is, you've got them all selected right now, right?
Mhm.
So delete. Just kill your list of figures. Yeah, they went away. Good. So with the cursor sitting right there on list of figures, super. We're going to go up to your ribbons in the top, and I want you here to go to references. Yeah, the reference ribbon to the far left-hand side, table of contents. Pull it down all the way to the very bottom where it says custom table of contents. Yeah, this is a step through you did before, right? We're going to turn off the hyperlink on the right-hand box. You're going to step into options. Good. And right here, this is perfect. Now you have the headings 1, 2, and 3. You got to delete those because that's your table of contents setting. And you're going to go down now for the list of figures all the way to where on the left-hand side it says heading 9. That's what you use for your figures, right?
Yes.
Okay, here you can either put a 1 or a 2. And sometimes I like the either one. It works fine. Now we're just telling it, make a fresh table of contents in its lexicon, just using number 9. Say okay, but as soon as it says, do you want to replace the old one, you're going to say no. So say okay to this. Yeah, that's your no. Now you just got a fresh list of figures appeared here. Go right through all the figures. All of those are just figures, aren't they?
Mhm.
You don't have any tables that appeared there.
Correct.
So let's go to the very bottom, and I want you now, Declan, to put a fresh paragraph return, give it a fresh label of a list of tables, and we're going to go through the same step of your table of contents creation, which is really your list of tables. Good. He's got his cursor sitting there. Same thing. He's doing it. Table of contents, custom. Yeah, turn off that hyperlink thing. Options.
Oops.
Yeah, now if you're on the Mac, I think a lot of times it is the modify you set in it, but in the Windows side, it is the modify. So same thing, he's taking out his 1, 2, 3, he's remembering what style heading he used for his tables.
That was number 8.
For him, it was number 8, tap, yep, and number 1, you say okay. Same drill, to replace your table of contents, you say no when it happens. Yeah, right there. He's got it. List of tables automatically numbered 1 through 5. Page numbers on the right. Hey, this is looking good. This actually is looking great. Now, how about your acronyms used? Because you use that applet controller on your references ribbon, you're now going to be able to just right click and update field as well. You see that, folks? Magic just happened. Literally, it's not obligatory that you do your acronyms manager, but I think I've even referenced this before, that of all my YouTube videos that deal with document mechanics, or really, yeah, document mechanics, it is the acronyms used video that has more views than any other video I have. It's picked it up all across Asia, into Europe, a lot of these different locations that are just watching that video to figure out how to do exactly what Declan just did in 2 seconds. And it's totally is there. It's done. But there's a couple other things just to verify as you go through this. And one is you got your section break next page right at the bottom of your acronyms used. I want you to verify the page number at the bottom of that screen. Did your page numbers come across correctly?
Yes.
Looking good. That's page IV, and then you start with page 1. This is one of the most simple things that you guys could ever trip across, is just having that section break next page, where you then tell it up here, it's numbered III. Right here, you start 1, 2, and 3, and you restart numbering at 1. Now, Declan's done it, and it's showing up totally correct here. But I really want you to give attention now to read your own work to verify that all those references to the figures happened right. If you could just scroll up a little bit, Declan, I'd like you to go to your figure 6 on your list. So we're going to be able to teleport to that by holding down the control key and tapping that 11, page 11. And right there is teleported to it. Okay, so there's your figure 6. I want to go to the paragraph right above it and see that you did a reference to that figure 6. So triple click on that paragraph, and it'll show me any selected hypertext. It can't be on the hypertext. Yeah, there you go. So did you have a reference to this figure? Yeah, I see it says figure 2, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's, and before I've just said right click on it and do an update. Now I'm going to hit you with something a little heavier though. I mean, you could do it one by one. And actually, Declan, please go ahead and do that now. Do an update field to that little rascal right there. Right click and hit it correctly. That's doing it one by one. This next step around though, save your file before I forget about that one again. Okay, it's all saved, it's looking good. Now, literally, it's 99% there. But walking through and getting all the figure references and all the table references, just getting them all aligned and looking perfect, you can do one last big check through, and I recommend everybody do it just this way. I want you to do a Control A on your keyboard. That's going to be select all in this entire report. So the entire report selected, and when I do an update field now, it's going to walk him through quite a long process to find out every single update to do. Yeah, do the update field, and it's going to ask you a number of times. Go ahead, say update the entire table, because now what it's going to do, it's going to update the same thing again. It's updating your table of contents, your list of figures, your list of tables, your acronyms used. It's updating your citation manager. All these step throughs, and you see at the very bottom of your screen that horizontal bar scrolling along. Yeah, it's almost done. There's done. What would that take? 8 seconds, 9 seconds? And now everything is updated. Wow. Okay, that was amazingly fast. Everything, because you use that document mechanics, you do not have to worry about the page number on your list of figures being correct, where you're tapping out there 20 pages. All in, you're sitting here at about a 33-page report, aren't you, Declan?
Yeah, about that.
And I would say save your file and submit this rascal as your final term report number 5. And you've got a done deal. You're totally in. And the beauty for me is that if I know you used all of your document mechanics coming through this step by step, that you have a perfect table of contents. You have a perfect list of figures, list of tables, on and on like that. Your report is a done deal because I've read every section building up to here. Now, to really take this into the next higher level of this professional report, I'd love to talk to you guys about the idea that you could do linkage paragraphs to make a transition that you went from the geology into climate. Does it take at the beginning of the climate section, just a little entryway there where you're talking about what the climate transition is, because you're still in the abiotic realm. It wouldn't be bad. No, I didn't say wouldn't be bad. It would be outstandingly stellar if you went into that climate section introduction and did the abiotic transition from geologic up to the climate realm. Then you get through that climate section and you're then going into the field trip report. That's where you're going to start to introduce that biotic realm. That introductory paragraph literally could just be that step in to say, now I'm going to do the transition here. It's in that entry to that next section of the report. Finally, you get to your term report special topic. And right here, Declan was talking about Douglas fir. So in the biotic realm, going from that tree field trip report into the discussion about Douglas fir. Again, a very nice, smooth transition would be wonderful to flow one to the next. Again, this is going way over the top of what the expectations are, because you can say it right there on the rubric for this entire report, that you're going to be scored just as you've been scored on every single step along the way. I see all these things, you've already done them, you've corrected them, that's where your scoring bumps up. That's where you get a bunch of bonus points too. Again, if you can do those, roll them in and just make it a verification process to say, I've got one concise report now.